Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic with me, Alathrix, and of course, welcome back to our little mini-fortress where today our only goal is to finally get ourselves the spud gun. In the previous video, we managed to hit the big red boss many times in the head, the back, and at least once in the groin, but sadly it did survive. So today our goal is just to get the weapon so that we can go back and we can shoot it in all those places again, but this time with highly projectiled potatoes. Highly projectiled. Yes, that's how I wanted to say that. Now to do this, what we need to do is get loads more crops than we currently have, go over to the packing station, and then take all of those packed items along with our current pet, hello there, and trade them in for some better crops. And though actually, I think the better crops we don't require the pet, so you can stay here, and then once we get back, we can start planting those, grow those, go back to the packing station with the farmer, and then we can get the gun. So lots of farming over quite a few nights, although I have extended our patch here, so we can grow quite a few vegetables per night, so it shouldn't take too long. And honestly, we need loads more metal and stone anyway, since I want to do loads more things with the fort, so I will just be going out every day collecting metal and stone, coming back, putting it into the sorting system, and then hopefully fighting off lots and lots of baddies. So, on our first night, let's focus on just one crop type so I can get... I don't actually know how many we need, so what I'm thinking is, I want at least one row of each crop. And by row, once I put this down correctly, there we are, I mean one row of the chest storage. So one row of carrots, tomatoes, and these things, the beets. So, for now, let's just do tomatoes, because I need some more water foods anyway. Now, I am also aware that every night you have the unauthorized farming, there will be more and more enemies arriving. So each wave will become stronger, each night you have it going on. So I might need to take a break at some point. I'm not particularly scared of the tape bots after the previous encounter. As long as my spawn point is here, we should be fine. They're going to destroy a few things, but even if they spawn, I'm not terrified. But if the big red boss appears, obviously, we are absolutely doomed. Okay, we have a couple hours left. That should be just about enough. Ooh, I've parked this really badly because of the section there. There we are. Then we can go and collect some metal from just over there. I really need to set this up to a sensor system. That wouldn't be too difficult either. Okay. Because right now I have to do this every single time, which can be really irritating. And at some point I'm going to forget, enemies are going to get in, and then we're going to lose everything. As per usual, the first raid is fairly easy. Still need to replace that mesh. I mean, I love how it looks on this fence, but yeah, it's just going to slowly be destroyed every single night. Oi! What did I just say about that? Swore I saw one more. No? Ooh, although one of the chests have respawned, and somehow didn't notice that, so let's grab that. Oh, there you are. Were you not part of the raid? You're just chilling? Shame I don't knock you back when I hit you, because I want to try and knock you into the water. So you are part of the raid, but you got stuck. Okay, that was really weird. Anything lucky for the first chest of the night? Also, I need to just grab more milk. It's so much better for water. We have corn here and everything anyway. Nice and easy. Collect all the stone and metal by day. Defend the farm by night. Profit. Okay, building one more chest. This is going to be to collect some more chemicals, because I do want to mass produce more of the concrete. Once again, I just really like how it looks. And anything 6 or above durability is immune to the small bots. So I'll start building that, and let's go and collect some more stone. I may be ignoring the stone up there because it's just so annoying to farm. What we need is like a crane or something. That shouldn't be too difficult now I think about it, but either way, for now there's loads more stone over here, so there's no real problem. And I've put the engine a bit higher, so we can get over here in seconds. So yesterday I managed to do 3 full runs of metal and stone, so I think I'm going to do is actually go down to some of the, not warehouses, but the standard buildings over there, because I need some fertilizer. Some fertilizer would speed up the process quite a lot at the moment, so yeah, for the first time since starting this game, I am actually kind of annoyed at myself for throwing away all the fertilizer, because until now I haven't really had use for it, and it was clogging up everything, but now I've realised I threw away all of it, which is a little bit silly. This is the third building I'm going into. So far, lots of scrap metal, which is now currently over in my vehicle, and 3 stacks of component kits, and that was the first fertilizer we found so far. Just 5 of them. As soon as I want to find it, I can't find it anywhere. As soon as I don't want it, I had hundreds. Why did I throw them all away? Oh, I still have some fertilizer over there, don't I? At the mechanic place. Ooh. Will I survive this? For stupidity! Yes, I will. Also, we still have so much fuel left. In the previous video, I went collecting the glue clams, and in doing that, I got 60, in fact, over 60 gas, and yeah, we've only used up 10 since then. Yay for highly efficient engines and not overly heavy vehicles. I did have fertilizer over it. Yes, I did. Ella. Oh, just 5? Past me, I'm disappointed, though. I do have a lot of potatoes. I will need these for ammo eventually, so I'm going to grab those. Now, one thing we do also need to make at some point is the cook bot. But I would much rather just focus on grabbing the gun at the moment. Anything else we want here? Not really. Except for the exit sign. I want the exit sign. And the lights, which we can paint white to make them a bit more effective and set them to max. Why was I driving backwards then? Because why not? Okay, I'll let these finish growing, but the next lot can have fertilizer. May as well go out again and do another building whilst that's busy harvesting. I really do need to change up that vehicle. Having an extra harvester on it, having the refiner itself on it would both be good. Having it so I can take off the harvester and put on a new one each time so I don't have to keep on just leaving it there. That'll be good, but there's actually plenty I want to do, and right now, essentially what I've got is a general purpose vehicle. I don't think that's the best way to play in this game. What I think you need, or you should have, is several vehicles, all for specific things. So one for carrying... I'm hoping that these blocks over here I can just attach, but if not, I need something to carry those and carry the farmers and everything else. I then want the harvester, which will be that one, but a lot bigger, and then a travelling vehicle. At the moment, that vehicle's doing all 3. Well, it's doing the harvesting and the travelling pretty well, but it can't really carry anything. And it's only doing the first 2 decently. It's more of a transport than an actual harvester as well. Where's the nearest building? For some reason I thought there's another one here. I'm going mad. There's the chemical spill there. There's obviously this here. So yeah, this is a bit of a wasted trip, wasn't it? Well, I need to pick up some more flowers anyway, because I want some more paint. Pick some flowers, feed some cows, kill some haybots. I really do need to make a cow farm. Milk is just such a good food in this game. Loads and loads of water, as you're about to see, and a decent bit of food too. Yeah, well, eat the rest. There you go. And all for the low, low price of 3 corn. Now, I have heard there are some problems of cows in that as you go away from your buildings will despawn, but the cows don't despawn always at the same rate. So essentially, the cows can be there with the land, but no buildings, and wander off. And then when you re-arrive, the buildings respawn, and there's nothing inside them because the cows have gone. Come on, one more. There we are. Okay, let's head on back. I just watched the clip, and it looks like the one that got over may have been jumping on a spine. Okay, yeah, good to know then. We definitely need this to be one higher up, otherwise we have the very rare opportunity of one of the enemies bouncing on the other one's spine. Which is a really metal way to attack me, I have to admit, but still. I mean, this will also be better versus tight bots if they do start appearing, because it means we can duck underneath this a little bit more efficiently. There we are. And just make sure this is gone so that we can hit through this nice and easily. Just in case it was this as well. It does look like it bounced on the spine and then went up. But either way, no matter what the problem actually was, this will fix it. Because if it's on the enemy spine, then it's fixed. If it's because they're destroying the fence and they bounced, it's fixed. If it's just because they bounce each other occasionally, it's fixed because now it's higher up, so it'd be much more difficult to happen. Obvious weak points at the end there, especially things swimming around still. But yeah, there's no chance anyone's getting above this. And if there is an enemy shooty boy, there's a good chance they won't even fire at me. Since before, what I found was, unless they can see your head, it seems like they don't want to fire, and even if they do, I'm hoping this can survive more than one shot. If not, we'll just make it multiple thick. There's a good chance, though, that tape bots will just run right up to the wall, because we have seen that happen as well. They're not the smartest things. Bit counterproductive versus the tape bots, but still. This way I can still see outside. I was feeling a little bit claustrophobic, honestly. Now, I know there is armoured glass, but I don't think it's 6 or higher durability is the problem. Made my first ever saw blade, about to make another one to add to the wall here, because I'm finally going to test out the idea of a crusher. So what have I done here? Well, it's a really, really simple concept, and I've also got 2 fully upgraded pistons. Now, I didn't need these. I'm fully aware that if you use a controller, because people keep telling me, you can have the pistons fully extend, even if they're not upgraded. At least I believe you can. Either way, though, I do want fully upgraded pistons for things down the line anyway, so I thought I may as well upgrade them here. So we have 2 fully upgraded pistons, both at full speed, one holding this one block. This block is then attached to this piston, which is then attached to the crusher itself. The crusher is then, well, at least it will be now, attached to this button. Eventually, this will be a sensor, so when you press the button, splat. And hopefully, that'll be enough to kill any enemies. And the idea is, hopefully it'll be a one-shot kill. That way, we can just have sensors here. As soon as an enemy reaches the gate, that falls down and the enemy is crushed. Or we could have sensors going sideways there, that way we could cover the entire area. That might be better, and we could just armor that up with some of this, and hopefully that'll keep the enemies at bay. Now I'm making some buzzsaws, because the enemy is scared of these, and we can funnel them into this little corridor here. Once here, you press the button, and it kills them. I am curious if it would kill me. You know a sane person wouldn't do this? But for science, I am curious what would happen. Hello. Oof. Well, it certainly knocked me down. Okay, it hurt. Oh, I just thought, we have built this one too far out. Okay, I'm going to have to make sure the enemy stay far enough out. So that should be an easy enough task. If we just pop it like this, so we don't waste materials. The enemy will be forced to stay there. What I should have done is just build this one back. I've just realised, obviously, I did not do that. Now, of course, this is just a test. This will likely be completely remade later, so it's no real problem if it doesn't work completely well. I'm just testing out the idea of it more than anything. It's just a proof of concept. It's very satisfying, I'll say that much. Yeah, I am hoping it's a one-shot kill. I think I'll leave the sensor out for now, and we will add the sensor once we see how many shots it takes to kill them, because we might need to put it on a gate. So as long as the sensor's active, the gate is active, and it keeps on going down, up, down, up. Otherwise, we'll have the problem of it'll just go down, and then it'll just stay there, with the enemy still being alive. So for the future design as well, what'd be better is to have very minimum, even if we don't make this into a funnel, have at least all the rest of the fence on the same level as this. That way, they'll just slide along eventually until they find here, because it's the closest part they can get to, then they'll get stuck. As it is currently, if they get here, for instance, well, they're just going to be here forever, and then I have to manually deal with them. We could just have lots of crushers. I mean, I could do that as well. Again, one thing I can see this being a problem is just this not being high enough and not enough distance and speed being built up. Again, it's just a proof of concept. As long as it works and just causes some damage to the enemy, then this is a success. I suppose one of the easiest ways really with the sensor is just have sensor connected to a control block. The control block then is on loop, just down, up, down, up, down, up. And then when the sensor is off, essentially have it set as a button. Then it will stop and retract back to its normal state. Yeah, that seems like the easiest way to do things. Should work, I think. Hello, lads. Wow, they all spawn on the same spot. That's interesting and actually really good for us. Hello, willing test subjects. Oof. Why did the water just activate? What triggered the water then? That was weird. So, it seems like it does continuous damage until the thing's destroyed. They don't like getting in here, though, which is a problem. That is pretty fun, though. Yeah, why do they not like going underneath there? At least these fellas don't. The others didn't seem to have a problem. Well, good to see you reactivated. Oh, is it too close to the buzzsaw? Okay, wow, I underestimated the fear radius of these things. But yeah, definitely works, and it's good to know that it seems like it does continuous damage while the target's underneath it. For some reason I thought it'd be like an impact damage, so as soon as it hits them, all the damage is imparted. But instead, which makes things even easier for us, it seems like, as long as it's pushed down, that's going to continuously apply damage. So what I'm going to do then is set up the sensor, which is going to be really, really easy. I don't think I even need the controller. Need to paint these soon. They're so much more dull compared with these. Okay, this should work. Let's have a logic gate, which makes sure that I can have both of these sensors active. They're covering the entire area there, so as long as one or both are active, what should happen is the piston should activate. Yep, there we go. Then once that's removed, that goes back up. So that should now be an automated defense. That should automatically kill them, as long as the damage is working in the way I think it's working. In that, as long as the pressure is being applied, damage keeps on being applied to the enemy which has been downed. I assume that's how it works. So for now, let's go and do some harvesting, and then we'll come back. I'll see if that works out. We're almost done now, by the way. We just need this harvest of carrots, and then one more harvest of the beets, and we are done. Now we can get the better crops. I probably don't need this many of them, but, well, spare food is spare food, and honestly, I'm just having fun messing around today. It's a very slow day today. I'm not really being all that efficient or anything. I'm just chilling, killing. Need some more chemicals so that we can make ourselves more of the concrete. There we are. Now, two more problems I've just thought of. First of all, it's the sensors themselves. If the sensors can pick up the spines and the heads that the enemies drop, that could be an issue. But on top of that, it turns out, after double checking, we've still got a 1 block wide gap between the crusher and the wall. So I think that gap may have caused some of the issues as well. So I'm going to seal that off as soon as I have the concrete to do so, and I'm going to check just to make sure that the spines on the floor won't be triggering the sensors. I mean, they shouldn't, now we've raised them, but still. Another thought occurs. Because the sensor is now so high up, when the enemies get knocked down, what's going to happen is that the sensors will turn off. So, essentially, we're doing what I wanted to do with the controller anyway. That is, just in case, they will always glitch out if you always reach the ground. This way it's going to hit them on the head, knock them over, cause a substantial amount of damage, and then reset. The enemy will then recover, move back into the sensor, and then, once again, be hit in the head over and over again. And apparently they're just not going to learn their lessons. So that could actually work out for the best, or it could be way too slow and boring. Now, if it's too slow and boring, what I can do is just add sensors to the bottom, or, as I said before, I could go with the controller. That way, I could just stick with, well, it doesn't matter where the sensor's activated, I'll still have it go all the way down. Could just put it on a delay or something to make sure that always happens. That should work out pretty well, I think. And that should be enough for a while. Might as well get the full inventory for once. You run out of chemical very quickly when you're making all that concrete. You're essentially using 1 chemical for every 10 pieces of concrete, and since I'm making hundreds and hundreds of them, well, it's a lot of chemical. I am an enemy, grr. Ow, ow, goodbye. Well, thankfully, I tend to ragdoll a lot more aggressively than the enemies do, but still. Well, for me, it's a catapult. A really painful one, but still. How did that not knock me down? One other thing I've noticed is only having one piston line here is really bad in terms of stability. The thing rocks so much. When I tried to fix it so it would be a lot more stable, it ended up wobbling so much it broke itself. Even if I add, like, what would you call them, rails along with it to try and guide it, guiding rails, it still wanted to break. So, yeah, that is something to note. It really does throw me, doesn't it? Okay, we need to get back in, and the raid's about to start. Oh, that really lagged out the game. What just happened? Oh, why is that breaking the game so much? I mean, it's working perfectly. Look, they're all knocked down. They stand up, it then comes back down and knocks them down again. You okay, game? That's so stupid. Oh, I think it might be something to do with their ragdoll physics. Just, oh, that is causing the game to halt. But it works, look, it actually bloody works. He stands up, they get crushed. Yeah, every time they get knocked down, the lag is horrendous. They do seem to have a bit of reluctance to actually go into this gap. But once they do, the problem is just solved instantly. So yeah, the Crusher 100% works. Problem is, of course, we need to fully funnel them. But this, as a proof of concept, definitely works. I need to figure out what was causing that lag, though. That was really bad. Well, that's the most slowdown I've seen in this game so far. Oh, that's it. Come in here. Come on, you know you want to. You know you want to just get a little bit closer. There you go. Well, it certainly works. Let's just run the blocks, yes I did. Now, I've been busy making way more of these, so yeah, we have another full stack of concrete here, and I think I've just finished making another stack of the concrete, so that's really good as well. I wonder what was causing that slowdown, though. I need to find out what that was. I think it was their collisions, which is a really big problem, because that's what this relies on, so I might just need to wait until I have the spud guns and stuff, then let's have an automatic spud gun defense. But then that's using up resource, that's the problem. I guess I could use the saws. Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, rather than rely on collisions, have drills or... Oh, saying that though, they're scared of them, aren't they? They don't get close enough unless this is really high up and just rams down at the speed of light. Still though, at this point, I'm very happy with this. It definitely works. So because it's at this height, if an enemy is caught by it, ow, they get knocked down. And normally they don't ragdoll as much as me. That then resets that. Then they stand up, it then activates again and does damage, and it seems to like 3 hit them. 3 or 4 hits and they're dead. And of course we could have it set to a controller instead, just so it goes up and down more reliably, but this seems to work just fine as well. And of course I can refine the design later. This whole video has become about this. I'm tempted just to call it here and just say, this video is about the prototype squishy thing. Because the prototype squishy thing works okay in the end, and I'm happy with that, like. I'm a simple fella, and when I see robots get squished to death, it makes me smile. So obviously, this won't work for things like the tape bot and the boss bot, but it works just fine for the smaller enemies, which is lovely, so I don't have to stand there whacking away the whole time. I can just leave the farm, and oh no, I'm not there in time, they'll be dead anyway. And I believe how the enemies are chosen is essentially the value of your crops. So if you have a really high value of crops, so you have things like the broccoli or what have you and loads of them, then scarier enemies and more of them will spawn in. But I could just stay with a smallish farm, because once I have the spud gun, I don't really need to keep spam producing food. Because right now, I have a surplus of food. Food is not difficult to sustain in this game. Again, you can survive on milk really, really easily if you really want to. So I think I will just stick with this and make it better and more reliable. Look at that, a lovely forest of spines. And we are almost done for this. Just these carrots, and then we are good to go. Well, I am going to call the episode here. I've just looked at the time, and time has just flew by. I've not been very efficient today. I've just been kind of chilling, having a fun time again. I have been loving this game so much this week, and thank you so much for the support so far. The viewership has been a little bit bad for the channel, gotta be honest, but the engagement has been fantastic, and I'm so happy to see everyone who's watching really enjoying it, because I have been absolutely loving this. So with that, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Scrap Mechanic is a series you wish to see continued in the future. In the next video, we'll be only focusing on getting these crops over there and getting our spud gun. So, trading in our current crops for some better crops, the better crops then, along with our pet, for a brand new gun. And the more I call him a pet, the creepier that gets. Because, you know, nothing about my base screams, probably not the most friendly place in the world. That would be weird. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. One day I'll be efficient, but that day is not today.